Yes, welcome to Halloween. I'll be showing you my Team Fortress 2 tabletop game. Yes. But with a little bit of Halloween flair added on top of it. Hopefully you don't mind. And join me in this game. Today's mission will be trying to resurrect Morasmus from the dead. Whoever controls the point the longest will be able to summon him in the little summoning circle in the center of the table. It's also known as King of the Hill. Whoever summons him first wins the game. Victory goes to 1 point. Extra mission things that are in this game are these pumpkins that explode if hit. And they deal splash damage, which is damage that you can't save or dodge against. So everyone here will be able to get hit. Starting with a scout, who dies immediately because he only has 5 health. Engineer as well, because he only has 10 health. And Demo has 12, so he only has 2 wounds remaining after being exploded on. Normally these games go on for 3 different game turns to capture the points, so there's 3 points to win the game, but because of time constraints, we're only doing 1. So the Wheel of Fate and magic and all this other stuff will be ignored. You roll a d12 right here that I'm showing with my right hand, my grubby little hand. And whoever controls that point right there, they get to spin the Wheel of Fate. So let me just do a little test roll. 5. So that would be big heads. +1 to all crit hit rolls. Critical hits are on a 6+. The first one is being an actual crit. Anything else after that is a mini crit. I'll show that in the game later. But now, shall we move on to the armies? Alright, let's go. And now for what is in the backpack for each team. Starting with the red team. A backpack consists of 15 cards of your choosing. You can choose up to a certain amount of weapons, cosmetics, crates, keys, and if you really want to be a picky picker, you can choose a couple other rare items, such as the flaming particles, or like a thing that traces around your character when you walk around. Those little rare items. Or you could even choose to pick scrap metal. But because this game only has 1 point to capture, well, things are limited. So now that everyone is all set up and all their cards have been designated to each and every team member that they have that they could put the cards on, we will be rolling off to see who will be going first. Red respectively goes to red team, and blue goes to blue team. And whoever rolls the highest goes first. Looks like red team goes first. Yes! Rooting for you, red team. Looks like the sniper will be the first one to activate. Now to move things outside of the base, if you read in the rule book, the spawn that everyone is placed into is a specific size. Anything outside of that is marked not in white. So like I designed this building here, you can have the spawn room in a building. So that way, no one can shoot into your spawn, unless they really want to make their way all the way over. So, Sniper's turn ends there. He can't shoot, he can't do anything else, just move his full movement, and that is that for him. Next up, I think I'll be moving Demo Man? No. This one's a spy. He'll be going right there. Putting a player token down to designate that his turn is done, so that way no one can reactivate their characters twice. We don't want someone to be able to do that in this game. Now we go to the blue team. Starting with the first soldier. Who'll be moving partial his whole movement. And he'll be attempting a rocket jump. Roll to hit, and if it hits, he gains an extra 20 inches of movement. He fails, so instead he suffers splash damage. I'll be showing off his Feel No Pain a little bit later, because I was a dummy while recording this. So, I'm going to try and attempt another rocket jump, since you can do two. He also fails. Dang. So he suffers 6 splash damage altogether. Or just the first one. Yeah, I was not that great at recording for this one, so just whatever I actually say now is actually what should have gone on instead of what is recorded onto the yeah. So he's going to be facing the right way, and because of the cosmetic that he's wearing, oh, I don't have that one yet, never mind. First one was a fail, second one is a success. Off he goes, flying into the air an extra 20 inches, suffering both splash damage. Landing right there, becoming the king of the fortress. Defending the point with his body, since that is all he can do right now. I'm going to put it right there. Now back to the red team. Going with the other soldier, who's going to try and counter the enemy soldier. He'll be going here and attempting a rocket jump. This is his rocket, so he has 3 to shoot, 10 damage each, and a splash of 3. -1 from enemy invade save, and -1 to whatever that was. I couldn't read in time. But that doesn't matter right now because he successfully makes the rocket jump, flying all the way over here. And before he lands, he'll be shooting the last 2 rockets down onto the enemy soldier. 2 rockets going out. Boom. I'll drop that dice. Which is a hit. Miss, actually. So he does splash damage. Next one. That one is a hit. Meaning he does a flat 13 damage. And the enemy has a -1 to their save. Or juke. And soldier save is 5, so on a 6+, the enemy blue team soldier will be able to save himself from the rocket incoming, or suffer splash, which he fails. So, That is 13. He only has 11 health. Starting with the first Feel No Pain, which is rationed off in 5s. So with that, that's already 10. He only has 1 wound remaining, so the last one, he is down. Yeah, he is down. Now let's do the Feel No Pain for him. He has 2. He's good. And he's good. So this soldier feels no pain. Meanwhile, this one over here is dead. So we put him in the dead pile, along with his player token. Now let's go back to the red team, since he is done. There's nothing else he can do. He can't charge or do anything else. So, that's just the end of him. Next up is Demo Man, who'll be moving over to where Sniper is. Doing a little quick measurements. Yes. He should be able to go up where the steps are right here. But because of the slope, and I didn't put stairs there, it's my own bad. I'm lazy. He'll be going right next to Sniper. And that is his turn. Now we go to the blue team to see what they are cooking up for their side. Looks like Heavy is going up next. Gonna be going right there next to the soldier. He has a portable AA cannon, 2 shots, 20 damage each, range 30, plus 1 to hit anything that was airborne, meaning anything that did rocket jump, air blast, or was knocked back with any weapon whatsoever. And because Soldier was airborne, he gets plus 1 to his hit rolls, so going from a 4 to a 3 plus with 2 shots. Ignore the 6 that's already there, that's from the last roll. Just showing you his main thing, and because he moved his full movement, he will not be shooting his gun twice. So, hitting on 3s. Both. Ooh, that's a crit and a hit. So the 6 is a crit roll, meaning that it adds plus 10 to the damage, which is why I'm rolling this many dice for the soldier. So, the soldier literally explodes in the air. Now mind you, any other hit roll of 6 that normally comes into play is a mini crit, meaning it only adds plus 2 to the damage. So the first crit that you roll is an actual crit, and anything else afterwards is a mini crit, unless it says otherwise in the character stat, weapon stat, or extra ability that you gain via medic or spell. A lot to process, I'm sorry. So it goes from 20 damage to 30, so that is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That is 6 dice I needed to roll to save Soldier. Failed all of them, so he is dead. Next up we'll be activating Engineer, who's going to be knocking over Soldier while he runs all the way over here. There we go. And during the beginning, middle, or end of his movement phase, you can place down a single building. So I'll be placing as this teleporter right there. And with that, his turn is over. Now we go back to the last remaining 2 on the red team. That'd be Spy and Medic, who I am going to replace with Heavy Weapons Guy. Sorry, Medic. We need Heavy Weapons Guy on our team, because I have a brand new weapon just for him. you can switch out any characters while they're within spawn. Otherwise, you can't really do that. I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. I genuinely have no clue. But this is the weapon he has. He gets plus 5 inches to his movement and plus 1 to hit rolls. So, just like the other one, he goes from a 4 plus to hit to a 3 plus. But he also has a heavy lifter, which gives him another plus 1 to his hit rolls. So he is hitting on 2s with his main minigun. Ain't that something? Alright, so he's going to be moving, probably running, past where the spy is. As long as I can measure this correctly. Yes, he'll be moving over to this little charcoal stain that's on my little art pad. Back when I used to do a lot of charcoal art. Off he goes. Standing confidently. Ready to take down the enemy heavy. Or anyone that's going to be in his wake. And that is the end of his turn. Next up is the red engineer, who will be moving over alongside with the other red team members over here. Again, you mark and start the measurement at the beginning of the spawn room. So he'll be moving from there to over here real quick. And within 3 inches of him, he can place down any building. So, what I am going to be putting down is a teleporter. Let's say right here. So it's between both doors. At least 3 inches at least. So he should be good. And to finish his movement, he's going to be moving all the way up this building, making it all the way up to here, because I need to minus the rises that he needs to climb over. And with that, my friends, ends red team's full activation. So turn 1 for red team is finished. All we need now is the last 2 for blue team. Starting with Spy, who is going to be running right in front of where the engineer is. There it is. And with that, I'm going to add a disguise kit on top of him, meaning that he's going to be -1 to the enemy's intel. If you want to have a intel check on anyone, such as you believe it's a spy, you roll whatever it says on the player card for their intel check. And because he has a disguise on, it is -1 to that roll. Even while invisible, it also counts. It stacks, didn't you know? Anyways, now we go to Demo Man's turn. Who doesn't really have any targets to shoot at besides the soldier, but I don't know if he'll be able to actually shoot at him. We shall see. He'll be going all the way over here to the pumpkin, which is a very dangerous idea, but he loves explosives, and he knows he'll survive the blast if it explodes. And there's no one in the area to see, so no shooting. So that ends game turn 1. Now what happens next is we have a random drop, where both teams get a specific amount of cards. Because there are 6 players on both teams will be receiving 12 cards from the random drop pile, which means they'll be getting more cosmetics, random things as well, such as maybe scrap or others. So here I'll be showing you what they have acquired. Starting with the blue team, getting Sounds of Freedom, which is M1 Grand for Soldier. A rain blower for pyro. Excuse my fingers. I can't really do this one-handed. Yeah. Holy mackerel. +1 the fish smell. I love that stat. Jarate. A yegg. Shady Shelby for the sniper. Bonk Atomic Punch for scout, if anyone had one. A peaky cap with little razor blades. Charge and Targe for demo. Great for melee combat. Come on, fingers, work with me here. Attack packs for soldier, giving +1 to his hit rolls. The Unfortunate Son, M16 for soldier. And the black box. That should do it for blue team. Now for the red team. What random assortments did they acquire? Gunboats. Nice, nice. Sergeant's drill hat for soldier. Also nice. The escape plan. I love that thing. Puglet's protector. Nice. Splendid screen. Neat. Hungover hero. Of course. Bushman's boonie. That'd be very helpful, actually. Airstrike. And Man-Bird of Aberdeen. Battalion's backup. Full throttle. Flakjack for the scout. If you want to stop and read any of these cards, you can at any point in time. That's cocked, need to reload. And read through what the cards actually do. So it looks like blue team will be going first. Ooh. I sense a swing of movement in the air. So, I am going to be starting with... Let's see... Engineer, who will be moving a little bit up and to the left of where he is standing to where the building is. To properly measurement and see if I can actually make that movement. Let us see. Yes, he'll be going somewhere around here. I know that for a fact. I'm trying to stay away from the exploding pumpkin, because that is not fun. I don't want Engineer to just die on me like that. So he'll be going right here. And because of the extra PDA attachment I gave him, he's actually able to hold a little bit more metal. Meaning that he has the reserves on him, which gives him slightly more metal into his storage. Enough to build 2 machines at once. So in the actual game, it would be an extra 100 metal. So he's going to be placing a teleporter here. And to help defend the point, a sentry will be placed right here. And with that, the engineer's turn is over. Next, we'll be lowering the camera a little bit and going over to the spy, who is still in a disguise. But we're not going to be keeping him like that for a while. We'll actually be making him invisible. And to make him invisible, remove him from the table and place down 3 character markers. Each one is a representative of the spy while being invisible. And you get to activate each and every single one of them as if you are playing as the spy. So that way, your enemy doesn't know which one is actually the real spy. It's a little bit of a ruse to see if you can draw out a fake spy. But here's the problem that you may face while doing this, is that if the enemy passes an intelligence check while trying to perform one on the invisible spy, that spy is now determined as the real spy. Just a warning. And now that's done, we'll be moving over to the next character, which is going to be Heavy, who is going to be either moving or shooting through this open area. Moving. And next up, we're going to check all the different cards that he has on him, cosmetics and weapons, to see if there's any change. There is 2, actually. +1 to hit because of the cosmetic, and +1 to hit because of the weapon he's wielding. So instead of hitting on 4s, he'll be hitting on 2s. Not bad. Shooting through the little piece of terrain to hit the engineer and his sentry. Rolling to hit. That's a lot of crits. And mini crits. 1 failed hit. And now we'll be checking the sentry stats to see what I need to roll to pass, which is down there where the little shield icon is. So we'll be needing a 4 or higher to pass. I'm going to start with the crit because this one could destroy it completely. Here we go. On a 4 or higher. Sweet. Next up, the mini crits. On a 4 or higher again. Pass. Fail. Pass. 1 failed so far. Leaving the dice up here to see how much damage has been dealt to the sentry itself. Now for the rest of the shots that hit the sentry. On 4s or higher. Another fail. Counting down, that's how many wounds left the sentry has. Another set of shots. Again, starting with the mini crits. Those 2 go through, wiping the sentry out for good. And then the rest of Heavy's weapon shots go straight into the engineer. A good number of these actually fail, so just take those out. One mini crit. Only 10 health because he's an engineer. So as long as at least 5 of these fail, oh boy. That's more than 5. Engineer is dead. Now with the engineer's death, we remove him from the table and put him into the dead box behind spawn. Now we're going to attempt to have Heavy charge into the spy. First, he'll be needing to pass a intel check. For Heavy, his intel is already at 4, and it's going to be changed because the spy is invisible or disguise, depending on which is already active on the table. And because he's invisible, there is a -1 to the intel check. We need a 4 or higher, 5 or higher to pass. So here we go. Attempting a charge on a 5 or higher. Fail. He doesn't notice that the spy is not on his team, or is even there, thus ending his game turn. Now we move over to the next character I'm going to activate, which is going to be the sniper, who is going to be able to make it all the way up to this corner of the building, moving half of his movement, because if you move half, that means he's aimed down sights, which allows him to perform a headshot. He'll be using these two, which are already activated on him, the County Killer and the Bushman's Headwear, giving him a slight bonus for being shot at and shooting the enemy. And because he's aimed down sights, he'll do a flat 15 damage. Versus a demo. Moving to the other side of the table, check if he can see down sights, which he clearly can see the demo. Now with that checked, we'll roll to hit. Rolling the first set of shots onto the heavy. We changed our target because the heavy is a lot more deadly of a target. First 2 shots miss, the second 2 hit. Heavy has a bonus of Feel No Pain, which allows him to ignore incoming damage. It rolls in increments of 5. And because it does 15 damage, each shot is 3 dice each to ignore. Like I said, it goes in increments of 5. So we'll be rolling 6 to see if he can ignore the incoming damage. But he is wearing a cosmetic, which allows him to change the roll from needing a 5 to a 4. The cosmetic he's wearing is called the Fatherly Fuzz, which looks like this. Now to roll the dice. Oops. Fail. Pass. Pass. Fail. Fail. And fail. That is a full 20 damage that he took. Heavy only has 25 health, so only has 5 health remaining. So let us use one of the health tokens that I made for this game. And that ends the sniper's turn. So we put a token next to him. Now we go to the blue team, see how they respond. Starting with the soldier that's in spawn. It's going to take a few inches to move to the teleporter. And then from there, whatever extra inches or lesser, we'll be moving on to the point. The engineer sacrifice was not in vain. Making up to there. Next, I believe he's going to shoot at the heavy with his black box. 2 shots, 9 damage each. He'll be getting an extra +1 hit because of his attack packs. So from hitting on 4s to hitting on 3s. And then with the unfortunate son as his secondary, he'll be trying to take down as much damage as he can onto the heavy, staying on the point to maintain their hold. Hitting on threes, both miss. But not entirely, because he still does splash damage, which will not be enough to kill the heavy. Just mimicking how the rockets would hit and still splash. Funny. To ignore the incoming damage, heavy gets 2 feel no pain rolls, which he fails. Meaning he has 29 health remaining. That would be 23, editor's note. Next up, he'll be shooting his secondary, Unfortunate Son. Because he's switching to a secondary weapon, it's going to be a minus to hit, so it's going to be hitting on 5s. But because of the attack packs, that is now hitting on 4s, and because of Unfortunate Son, going to be hitting on 3s. Landed a crit and a mini crit. Those are the only 2 that made it through. This might be enough to do enough damage to take him down. So starting with the mini crit. Failed both. That means heavy takes both the damage. Next up for the regular crit. Fails 1, but passes 2. So he'll be taking 5 damage. Editor's note again, he should be down to 12 wounds remaining. While recording this whole entire section, I haven't eaten anything for a while, and my brain was a little foggy, so excuse the poor math. Anyways, now we move over to, let's see who it is going to be, Demo. Who's going to be taking a step up onto this platform and shooting. Starting with the lock and load. Oh. 30 inches, 1 shot, that much damage. Alright, rolling to hit, 1 shot. Here we go. Bonk. That's a hit. But he has a chance to evade the shot with a juke. Oop. Minus 1 to be hit while in a building or structure. That was a miss. Never mind. Splash damage. 5. And with splash, it also has knockback. So he goes back 1 inch. And falls. Taking the fall damage along with it. Which would be an extra 4 to 5. Rough estimate because of the wall, 5. So an extra 5 damage on top of that. Splash damage and the fall damage coming together, 10. Meaning the sniper is dead. Good on you, Demo. But it's not over yet, because he has a secondary or melee weapon of his choice. So let us see what I'll be doing next. Charging into melee combat with the... I'm not even going to attempt to say that. And he's also wearing the Glasgow Great Helm. So now we need to see if the heavy is smart enough to notice someone charging at him. He needs to pass an intel check to see if he can fire onto the demo, which he fails. That gives the demo man full range to charge right into the heavy. More than enough. Let's go. This many attacks going onto the heavy. Hitting on 4s. 2 miss. Now for the juke save for heavy. On 5s. 1 pass, 1 fail. Like I said before, I was a little brain foggy, so I missed a roll. What I should have done was the feel no pain roll, but whatever. Now it's Heavy's turn to attack back with 1 hit, which hits. The demo gets a juke save, which he fails. So the demo man suffers a full 10 damage, meaning he only has 2 health remaining. Hitting again with the demo. 3, 4. All of them hit. Jeez. And the heavy is... And with all of that done, Demo Man gets a character token, noting him as finished. It's 2 characters that try to take down the heavy, and, well, I say that the Demo Man was the most successful one, even though the soldier paved the way for the demo to take him out. Now we move to the red team, starting with the engineer. Moving up to here. Gonna place a building here. Teleporter. Gonna move the rest of his movement to here. And end his turn. For engineer, you can put a building down at the beginning, middle, or end of your movement phase. Next up is Demo, who's going to be moving to here. And I do believe he's going to be shooting into the Demo Man, and then charging into the soldier. Try to take the point. That is the most rational thing I could think to do at this point in time. Try to soften up both of them with a ranged shot, starting with the first pipe bomb. Going into the demo. That's a miss. But splash damage, which goes through and instantly kills the demo. Demo on demo crime. Next is the soldier, which is also a miss, but it's splash damage, so it only does a flat 3 damage to the soldier. Which he fails to miss. Knocks it back 3 inches because it's splash damage. Meaning that both him and the spy, if that is the spy, have been moved off the point. But that also means that it's an extra 3 inches to see if he can charge into combat. There's a plus side and a downside for using splash damage. Soldier has an intel of 5, which he fails, meaning the demo can charge freely into the soldier, which he does, putting himself on the point. Now we shall see which one will reign supreme on the battlefield. 2 attacks going into the soldier with a bottle. Both miss. Now the soldier's turn to react with 2 shovel swings into the demo. Each dealing 5 damage. Again, miss. Their friendship is stronger than the tide of war. I just imagine they're just sitting there talking to each other like, "Don't worry, mate, I won't hit you too hard." Again, he misses. The soldier, though, being brainwashed in the past, hits his friend. Demo fails 1 juke save, passes 1. I don't know how he's down to 2 health, but whatever. Demo does back. 1 crit, 1 hit. Both saved. Soldier passes both. Smack back. Crit and a hit. And Demo fails both, meaning he's dead. Soldier holds his ground. Sadly, he killed his best friend. Now we go to the last 2 for the blue team. Starting with the heavy, who is just going to walk back to spawn. And fully reheal all lost wounds. Going from 5 health to full health. No problem. Ending his turn. Last is going to be my extra soldier, who is going to be cautionary and go through the building. Or use the teleporter to go there. So he has extra time and space, extra movement, to get onto the point. Not fully on the point, but close enough. Failed rocket jump attack. And that's it. That is the end of the soldier for now. Within 3 inches, he's on the point. Within 3 inches, this one's on the point. All that's left is the last member of the red team, who is the spy, disguised as the blue demo. Sneaky, isn't he? So he's going to try to make a flanking maneuver onto the first spy right here. Another spy-on-spy combat. Class warfare, if you will. And he's going to perform, or attempt, a backstab. Now, the blue spy needs to make an intel check. If he passes, the red spy fails the backstab. But if the blue spy fails this intel check, the red spy instantly kills the blue spy. How many times have I said spy so far? Take a shot. No, don't. Don't do that. Anyways, rolling to see if he passes the intel check. That is a cocked dice. Re-rolling. Failed. Which means blue spy. Soldier. Oh, is dead. I thought that was a spy token right there. I guess I was wrong. But because of that, red spy loses his disguise. And he gets to move a few extra inches, half his movement, to the next target to perform a chain stab. As long as the intel checks keep failing, which they do, that's another death. And lastly, the blue spy. An intel of 4. Which the red spy passes, meaning that that's the blue spy. You've been found out. Now we have a Western standoff between the two. Can the blue spy pass an intel check? Or will he have a knife from the red spy go into his back? That is a failed intel check. But because it's a butter knife, he gets to pass the save. Now they're just slashing at each other, trying to see if they can actually do anything. Rolling to hit, rolling to juke. He takes the damage. His turn with the butter knife. Hit. Also failed the juke save. Doing the dice check. Yeah, he failed. He also now has 2 health. Going back to the blue spy. Butter knife to the face. No, that's a fail. Back to the red spy. Rolling to hit. That's also a crit on top of that. But the blue spy passes the intel. Juke save. A lot of words. Back to the blue spy. Hitting. Miss. Well, it's a hit, but the red spy saves. Again, back to the red spy. Failed to hit. Blue spy again. Hit. Juke save for the red. Pass. And a double make sure. Just a double check. Alright, red spy again. Here we go. Rolling to hit. That's a hit. Whoop. Juke save. 6. but rolling just to make sure, since it wasn't in there. Passed anyways. Would have taken both anyways. Blue spy again, going into the red. That's a hit. And a pass. Red spy misses his attack. Wait, that was a hit. And this blue spy has finally been taken down with a butter knife. Meaning, that's the end of the game turn. There's no one contesting the point. All action tokens have been used. Character's dead on both sides. And the only one that is the closest on the point is either the red engineer or the one that's directly on the point, the red spy. Meaning that the red team claimed the point. All thanks to a spy. Spy on spy fight on the point. After an insane duel between spies, the red one is victorious. And thus summons Marasmus from the dead. I hope you enjoyed the video, because I enjoyed recording and making the battle. A few hiccups here and there for some rolls, but at this point in time, I assume that with all good faith, that you understand some of the rules, how to play, and some extra stuff on the side, which will be added in another game for future reference, for whatever. So at this point, we would see what the roll on the wheel was. I'm just going to say it's 11, just to be safe. And oh look, nothing happens. Fun. Oh, how nice. Anyways, if you want to play this game, you can, whenever it's ready, whenever it's up on the Patreon, you'll see it there. We'll have the main rulebook, the character stats, and missions, which are just how to play the game, basically. Different game modes and how they work. A lot of this is still a test in progress, just feeling around to see how the game works, how best I can change some rules here and there, and from there forward, just see how things can go. If you have any ideas for how to make this game a little bit more fun, any extra special game modes, rules, or other stuff that you would like to see added to the game at some point in time, put it down in the comment section down below. I'll go through them, skim through it, see which one works the best, and I'll add you to the Patreon team or on the rulebook as a person that helped out create this, just like how they do in Team Fortress 2. Also, yes, that was the Speedwagon Foundation box right there. Anyways, I've been me, you've been you. Thanks for watching another one of these videos. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.